From the station putting local first, you're watching Studio 9.
Good evening and welcome to Studio 9. I'm your host, Patricia Maese. And this week, we're bringing Stephen Lovegrove back and giving you a little life advice. From working with billionaires to Hollywood stars to people who just want to level up in their lives, Stephen Lovegrove is one of the fastest growing names in personal development. His powerful one-on-one coaching is widely praised for how it supports you when it comes to doing real inner work. Stephen made a special trip from LA to the borderland just to be here on Studio 9. And we're thrilled to give you more of his sage advice talking about how you can achieve your goals in life. Here's our sit-down conversation with America's Life Coach, Stephen Lovegrove. Let's talk about the big ones that people really seek out a coach or work with you. Relationships, money, jobs, health. Which are the big, like 4 pillars, 3 pillars? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think in personal growth world, we talk about the big 3, and it is people want love, people want the body that they want, and people want to make money. But I would add to that and say, beyond just making money and having an outward appearance of success, people want to be happy.
Yes.
People want to find meaning and purpose and fulfillment in their careers. And, you know, from the beginning, I've worked with people who have an outward appearance of success. That, you know, you may be the most impressive person in your friend circle, and everybody looks up to you, and everybody thinks you're doing great. But you are the one that has to live with you, right? I always joke, it doesn't matter who else is in bed with you at night. You have to be in, you know, you have to go to sleep with you and be at peace with your life. So I think a lot of people now are also looking for, I want to do something that means something to me. I want to do something that brings me purpose, fulfillment, you know?
Yeah, so let's talk about each area. Money, relationships, that body, or that happiness. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. You kind of approach it the same way. You just have to figure out what you want, what you're doing, and where you're stuck. Talk about some of the blocks or that you've seen when you work with your clients. That I'm not making the money, I work a lot. Because and I've heard you talk about this as well, is that working hard does not equate a lot of money. Or struggle does not necessarily equate you're going to be compensated. And that misconception and how we shift that energy to actually make the money that we want to make, because it is possible.
It is possible, and I want every single person watching this to make the money you want to make in 2020. But here's the thing. Many of us were taught ideas about money that sounded good, but simply were not necessarily true. And, you know I certainly was raised to believe that, well, if you work hard, you'll make money. The problem is we all know people that is not true for.
That's right.
Right? And I'll be honest, I worked a minimum wage food service job my last semester of college. I have never worked harder in my life than I did at a fast food restaurant. And I've also never been in more struggle financially than in that period. So I am here to tell you, many of us were given ideas about money. People said them, they sounded good, they were well-intentioned, but they're just not objective truth. And so, you know, one thing I always remind my clients of is your beliefs are always winning. And if you have a belief that struggle is required, for you in your life, your belief is going to keep winning, and you're going to keep recreating struggle in some form or another. And so we've got to look at, what are the beliefs I have about money or anything else, and who gave them to me?
Or rich people are bad, money's evil, or I'm not worthy of having money, I'm not worthy of nice things. So you don't know you have this belief, but subconsciously money comes in, but you can't really seem to keep it, and you don't really know how to manage it. So it's kind of rewiring that. What would you say about that?
Yeah, I think, you know, people always ask, well, how can I figure out what I really believe? And it does take some work, but it's doable. You just have to stop and listen. You know, I remember in 2015 doing an exercise. I was sharing this with you last night, and I wrote out, what do I think would happen if I made lots of money? And I dared to ask that question and to sit with it. And one of the things I realized is I thought I was going to have to become like an evil, greedy, callous person that had no soul and no morals, right? And once I got it out on paper and could look at it, I thought, wait a minute. That doesn't have to be true. I don't have to become a bad, greedy person with no morals just because my business did well. But I didn't even know I was believing that until I stopped to listen. And the same thing is true with relationships. There are people, the same thing is true with health sometimes. There are people who believe that if they lose the weight and suddenly more people find them attractive, they will not be safe. And so there's lots of these subtle beliefs that we're not even aware are there.
Until you've fixed the thinking up here. Yeah, because you know, and hear of a lot of people, they lose the 20, 30 pounds, but they put it back on. And it's not so much about losing the weight, it's about getting your mind right and thinking and feeling like a healthy, lean person, if that is the goal or if that's something that you want to reach. Same thing with love. Let's talk about love. A lot of people looking for love, but then you hear a lot, all men are bad, or all women are bad, or they're all cheating. Like they've been through some bad situation, and then that's what they're throwing out. But then that's what's coming back into your life. I say this all the time. Don't say that. There's good men out there. There's good women out there. But you're attracting this into your life. So it's not really about them. It's about you.
The beautiful thing is we're using these specific examples, right? But the principles apply across the board.
Right.
And that's what I love about the work I do. You know, I've coached people for 6 years now. I've coached people through situations that I've not personally been through, every single one of the thousands of situations. But the principles are true, and they work across the board. Right. You know this. I work with universal law and principle, and I like to say the law is the law is the law, just as certain as the law of gravity.
That. The law is the law is the law.
Right, and it does not care if you watch Netflix educational documentaries or if you prefer Real Housewives. The law is the law is the law. And so these principles apply across the board. And as we've been talking about, your beliefs are always winning. So it's not just about like, don't say it or you're gonna jinx it. It's about if you have a belief that all men are bad, you're probably not open to see something differently, because you know what that would do? That would prove you wrong.
Right.
And none of us want to be wrong. And so if you have a belief about the way men are, the way women are, the way dating works, the way El Paso is, I hear this all the time, the way LA is, where I'm from, these beliefs get in our way, but we hold on to them so tightly. And so once again, I have to ask people, are you willing to see this differently? Are you willing to perhaps let that belief go and exchange it for a new one that actually does support you?
Because, and you said this before, wherever you go, you take yourself with you, and you're the common denominator. If you're unhappy here, you'll be unhappy in LA, because the same issues are going to come up until you deal with the issue, that internal issue that's creating that. Okay, stay with us on Studio 9. The conversation with America's Life Coach isn't over yet. We have more from Stephen Lovegrove coming up next.
Stretch your tax dollars at National Furniture Liquidators. We know you work hard for your money, so why pay more? The lowest prices on furniture, like an Ashley 5-piece pub set, starting at just $248. When it comes to value, quality, and selection,
nobody beats Shorty.
Over 70 years of serving El Paso, Tropicana Homes is the longest-lasting home builder, known for quality constructed homes for generations of families, with a variety of spacious floor plans available to build, as well as move-in ready homes, all with great amenities, excellent customer service, with financing options available. You'll find the perfect home of your dreams at Tropicana Homes. Find out more at tropicanahomes.com.
Our parents wanted a better future for themselves and for us. Like our parents, having a better future is simply made by the paths we pursue. At first light, better is about the journey. Better is just the best we can be today. And tomorrow, we'll do it again. Just better than the best we gave today. First Light Federal Credit Union. Your better credit union.
Wish we could afford to buy new furniture. What is this?
It's your breakthrough from Conn's Home Plus. Conn's Low Payment Finder finds the lowest payment tailored to you. Good credit or building credit.
Wow!
The President's Day sale is held over at Conn's Home Plus. Get 50% off a love seat when you buy the matching sofa. Plus, get a free TV or iPad and our lowest prices ever on select mattresses. So you can turn this into this.
stretch your tax dollars at National Furniture Liquidators. We know you work hard for your money, so why pay more? The lowest prices on furniture, like an Ashley 5-piece pub set, starting at just $248. When it comes to value, quality, and selection,
nobody beats Shorty.
Studio 9, sponsored by Tropicana Homes.
Find out more about Tropicana on our website at ktsm.com and click on the Studio 9 tab.
Let's talk about let's give people one or two things how you work with them to kind of that awareness and shift the way they're approaching. And in your money flow course, which I'm taking, it talks about the subliminal programming and repetition. A lot of it is what we've taught to believe, what we're telling ourselves in our internal thinking, what we walk around today tell ourselves. And that's really what's wired in there. So it's kind of to stop what you're thinking and let's refocus or rechange that. Did I explain that correctly?
Yes. So here's the beautiful thing. You were not born inherently with any harmful beliefs. And I really want people to hear that because this is such good news. Any of the junk you were taught about money, any of the junk you've picked up along the way about dating or fitness or any other area, success, your dreams, you were not born with any of that. Think about a little innocent 3-year-old that believes in themselves, that they think they can fly.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so we were not born with these beliefs, but we picked them up along the way. And so what I like to say to encourage people about this is the only reason it feels so true to you now is because you picked it up. And not only did you hear it, not only did you buy into it at some point, but you've now been living it out, often for years or even decades. So we have to interrupt the cycle and pick a new story. And it's important for people to understand, the first time you sit with a new idea, it's not going to feel true. Like I talk to people who are entrepreneurs all the time. And if your business is struggling and I say to you, what if it could be easy for you to make money? What if people love to pay you? What if there's so many people out there who would love to have your service, your product, be your client? That's not going to feel true the first time you hear it. But can you be open to a new idea and give it a chance through repetition, through letting it get into your deeper subconscious mind? Can you give the new thought a chance to work?
Because everything is energy, and that's the energy we're bringing to a relationship, to a room, to a situation, to everything. And setting an intention that it's going to work out.
And I want to speak to this everything is energy piece because I'm aware that whenever we get into this discussion, there's a lot of people who think it's just nonsense, junk science. And yet we are learning, especially in the last 50 years, we've learned so much about how the universe works, how our bodies and brains work together. You know, we seem to be solid objects as people sitting here having this conversation, and yet what we know is there are vibrating cells in vibrating particles in both of our bodies moving through this room. All of this is actually energy in motion. On the deepest scientific level, that is the case. And there's so much research that shows we actually have an effect on the creation of our reality. You know, there was a famous science experiment where basically what they found, to put it in the simplest terms possible, is you can't even run an experiment and observe what happens without affecting the results. And so that's what I want people to realize is whether or not you get, you know, the science goes a little bit over my head sometimes too, but whether you get the science or not, understanding you're not just observing life, you are creating life. That is a huge shift for people, that you're not just observing, well, this is just the way the world works. No, because we're all having different experiences of the world and you are creating yours.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Stefan. I appreciate you coming to El Paso all the way from LA, being on Studio 9 and really sharing your insight and your knowledge. We're going to have links to get a hold of Stefan. If you want more information for his website, on our website, head on over to ktsm.com, and as always, click on the Studio 9 tab. And we're going to continue this conversation online, and we'll have it online as well a little bit longer, but for the most part, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So we're hopeful that these conversations with Stefan are a great resource for you as you move forward in your life. All right, stay with us. There's still much more to come on Studio 9. It's prom season. Next, we take you to Ella Blue and talk what you'll see this season in prom trends. That's next.
Over 70 years of serving El Paso, Tropicana Homes is the longest-lasting home builder, known for quality constructed homes for generations of families. With a variety of spacious floor plans available to build, as well as move-in ready homes. All with great amenities, excellent customer service, with financing options available. You'll find the perfect home of your dreams. at Tropicana Homes. Find out more at tropicanahomes.com.
It's the 48-hour Group 1 used cars of El Paso sell down this Friday and Saturday. 6 Shamali dealerships, 500 pre-owned vehicles. Save time, save money with our no haggle, no hassle, best price first at Audi El Paso, BMW El Paso, Porsche El Paso, Subaru El Paso, Shamali Buick GMC, and Shamali Ford. El Paso's Group 1 family of dealerships has the best selection and prices in El Paso. Everyone drives this Friday and Saturday. UsedCarsofElPaso.com.
The deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S.
The markets are plunging for a second straight day.
Health experts warn the U.S. is underprepared. Managing a crisis is what Mike Bloomberg does. In the aftermath of 9/11, he steadied and rebuilt America's largest city, oversaw emergency response to natural disasters, upgraded hospital preparedness to manage health crises, and he's funding cutting-edge research to contain epidemics. Tested, ready.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
This is El Paso, a city we love. It's where we work and raise our kids. It's a city where we all work hard and do what is right for our friends and neighbors. We live and play and have established our roots in the community. James Kennedy has served El Paso and our community with integrity for over a quarter of a century. Our firm is locally located in central El Paso. If you've been injured, call a local attorney to fight for your rights. Call James Kennedy. James Kennedy believes in El Paso.
You asked, we listened. Now, El Paso Electric offers Bill to Pay, an easier way to pay. Bill to Pay is a free app that makes paying your bill quick and easy. In just a few taps, you can make a secure payment that posts within minutes. Anytime, anywhere. It's that simple. You can even customize your payment with a credit card or electronic check. It's your choice. Pay it your way with Bill to Pay. Download the free app now. Visit epelectric.com for full details.
Okay, everyone, it's prom dress season, and again, we're going to talk about the latest trends. I'm here at Ella Blue with your stylist, Catherine. Hi, Catherine. How are you doing?
Good. Great today.
I know. How exciting. So prom dress season is here. The earlier you start, the better. Talk about what we're seeing this year as far as trends for the girls or even the guys, whoever needs a prom dress.
Yeah,
we're not going to specify. Talk about what we're seeing this year in trends.
Okay,
overall.
so this year is really exciting. We've seen a lot of great gowns come through, and for the girls that started shopping early, the first thing that we've seen big is going to be the ball gown. So think princess, think a big tulle skirt, really big, really vibrant, and full of attitude.
And I think that the belief is that maybe ball gowns were a little too matronly or older, but there's a way that you can do it that's still young and fresh, and then it depends on the color. Talk about the colors that we're seeing with ball gowns.
Yeah, so we have a wide array of colors. What's great now, especially with spring in season, you see a lot of pastels, and a lot of strap work also differentiates the different gowns too.
And what we're seeing our model wear today is yellow with a little bit of beading. That's the pearls, right? So tell me about that dress.
Yeah, so that dress is gorgeous. It has pearls, and it also has rhinestone work too throughout, so it kind of combines the trends that we've been seeing this season.
And it's beautiful when it's feminine, and it's young most of all. It doesn't look big. I love it, I love it, I love it, because I love ball gowns. All right, let's talk about trend number 2 and the flesh-colored and beading. Tell me a little bit about this beautiful dress.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of neutral tones come through with dresses and even in the fashion world as well. And sequins, beading is going to be huge. We see a lot of beadwork, where it be rhinestones, pearls, also just like the iridescent kind of tones too. And that really makes the dress stand out.
And pop, and looks really pretty against any skin tone. We saw it with the award shows, and I feel like that kind of mimics the trend that we're going to see for proms. But flesh tones, does it look good on any skin color? Because some people want to be like, well, I'm too pale or I'm too dark. But it really looks good on anybody if you get the right flesh tone for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you were saying, we see a lot of inspiration coming from the red carpet, and you definitely want to look like a celebrity on that big prom night. So.
And they look beautiful, like you said, with a flesh color with the right beading or the rhinestone. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous gowns. They were standout during the award seasons. Okay, let's talk about color, because we're heading into spring. Who doesn't love color? We wear a lot of dark colors during the winter, but What colors are we seeing for spring as far as prom dress trends?
So this year for spring, neon is going to be huge. We love all shades of neon, whether it be green, orange, magenta. All the shades are, as the brighter the better.
50 shades of neon.
Yes.
There you go. So we're seeing a hot pink dress or a neon pink right now, but really you can do anything. I mean, neon, yellow, orange, and why is neon so hot this season?
I mean, it's really just a statement. You don't really have to do much. The dress just speaks for itself, and it really just stands out and makes the girl make a bold, vibrant entrance. And really also, again, neon looks good on anybody. I mean, try it. Come in and try on a dress because you may be afraid of the color, but you don't really need to accessorize when you're wearing neon because it's just stunning. You walk in and, like you said, you make a statement. Absolutely. You don't need too much to accessorize. You just kind of wear your dress and just feel confident.
That is so awesome, Catherine. Prom start in April, but the earlier you start, the better. But even for those procrastinators, you guys can help them out. You have something for everyone. Come to Ella Blue. Come visit Catherine. She's a stylist here. She will help you out. For more information about Ella Blue, head on over to our website, ktsm.com. And as always, click on the Studio 9 tab. Thanks so much, Catherine.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Still to come on Studio 9, we take you inside 35 Tavern and Grill and show you why the local hotspot is next on your list when it comes to fine dining right here in the Sun City.
Stretch your tax dollars at National Furniture Liquidators. We know you work hard for your money, so why pay more? The lowest prices on furniture, like an Ashley 5-piece pub set, starting at just $248. When it comes to value, quality, and selection,
nobody beats Shorty.
Over 70 years of serving El Paso, Tropicana Homes is the longest-lasting home builder, known for quality constructed homes for generations of families. With a variety of spacious floor plans available to build, as well as move-in ready homes, all with great amenities, excellent customer service, with financing options available. You'll find the perfect home of your dreams at Tropicana Homes. Find out more at tropicanahomes.com.
The chance, an open look for three. Finds his man. Time running out, drives the lane.
Time's running out. Get to Nissan now for big President's Day savings on our entire lineup, like the award-winning Nissan Rogue and Altima. It's car buying season. Hurry to Nissan, official partner of the NCAA. Save $2,000 or get 0% financing for 36 months on the 2020 Altima. Get to Nissan now.
Having a better future is simply made by the paths we pursue. Better is more than a goal. It's a philosophy. At first light, better is about the journey. Better is just the best we can be today. And today, we were the best credit union in El Paso and Las Cruces. Tomorrow, we'll be even better. First Light Federal Credit Union, your better credit union.
Wish we could afford to buy new furniture. What is this?
It's your breakthrough from Conn's Home Plus. Conn's Low Payment Finder finds the lowest payment tailored to you, good credit or building credit.
Wow!
The President's Day sale is held over at Conn's Home Plus. Get 50% off a love seat when you buy the matching sofa. Plus, get a free TV or iPad and our lowest prices ever on select mattresses. So you can turn this into this.
It's our 40th anniversary at Shamali Ford, where everything's bigger during Truck Month. Truck Month means bigger discounts. Truck Month means bigger incentives. And Truck Month means bigger selections. Get $7,500 off MSRP and 0% APR for 72 months, plus no payment for 90 days on all 2019 F-150s. Always right on the corner, right on the price. Yeehaw, El Paso! It's Truck Month at Shamali Ford. ShamaliFord.com.
stretch your tax dollars at National Furniture Liquidators. We know you work hard for your money, so why pay more? The lowest prices on furniture, like an Ashley 5-piece pub set, starting at just $248. When it comes to value, quality, and selection,
nobody beats Shorty.
Thank you so much for supporting Studio 9. It was a great 2019. We want to make it an even better 2020. So please keep sending us your suggestions. My email is right here. We want to hear from you. My crew and I will make sure we cover it on Studio 9. We're taking you inside a delicious establishment, 35 Tavern and Grill. I'm here with the owner, Anthony Duncan, one of the owners. Now, you've been open for about 2 years, but the fanfare and really just the demand for your restaurant here in East El Paso has grown so much. Tell me why it's so popular.
I think it's really because we prepare a great product. We're very friendly. I have good servers in here. I have a great chef in the back. We try to keep things simple, and we just make sure that everybody has a great time in here. We have fair prices for what you get. It's sort of like fine dining without the tablecloths and all the other hoopla that might go with that.
And you talked about that simplicity. You're known for a couple of dishes. Talk about those key dishes that people come in here for.
Well, we're primarily steak and seafood. One of our busiest nights of the week is Wednesday, and we do a prime rib special on Wednesday. And so Mario, my chef, he has a way of marinating it overnight and then taking it and roasting it to perfection the next day. And we get weights on Wednesday night. People come in for that as well, too. Then Friday nights also a very popular night for us as well, too. And we do some things with sell fried shrimp just for $2 a piece. People can buy as many or a few as they want. The sea bass we buy, it's really good. I just got in today 20 pounds of Hawaiian swordfish flown in to me from the Honolulu fish market. Just came in today. So
delicious steak and seafood, simple dishes prepared right. You have a long history. You're known as a restaurateur here in El Paso, but you also provide specialty drinks for people, like a place where people can come hang out after work, happy hour, date night. It's a neighborhood bar and grill, but you're getting people from all over the city and the area. Talk about some of the drinks that people come in here and ask for as well.
Well, one of the most popular drinks we have is we have a French martini that we make, and it's sort of like a cosmopolitan, a little bit different, but they mix champagne in it, and so we make it in the nice up martini glass, and then there's also a little sidecar and a little decanter we serve off of the side, so it's kind of like you're getting the leftovers served as well too, so that does good. Just our simple, this is a absolute cherry limeade mule. People love those. They come in. That's a real easy one. People can make that at home anytime they want to. Tell them to call me. I'll give them the recipe, okay?
I know. And then Carlos, bartender, we're going to get to see him shortly making some of those drinks for us and the delicious dishes that you have as well. Now, you're open 7 days a week. People can come, hang out, meal, and it fills up quickly.
Actually, 6 days a week.
6 days a week, okay.
We're closed on Mondays. We open up at 4 o'clock the other days. We serve till late, so 11 o'clock on the weeknights. We serve till midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. We can keep the bar open later. Sundays, we do open at noon, not with the brunch menu, but the regular menu, and we're real popular on Sundays as well, too. People that want to come out earlier will come in.
And he was saying, Anthony, you were saying that the bar also fills up quickly. I mean, sometimes you come in here and it's like waiting only. You started as a small little restaurant grill, bar and grill, but it's kind of, you know, the word's getting out that you're good and you have quality food in El Paso here in East El Paso.
Sure. It's sort of like people all do the old thing, say it's like a Cheers bar, but it really is. A lot of people come in here. They all know each other. They hang out together. They're all a bunch of people. A lot of them used to be members of Vista Hills Country Club. The name comes 35 Tavern and Grill from the 79935 zip code. So it's intended to be a neighborhood place for the people that live close by and want to have a great meal and don't have to go too far to get it.
So it's in the 35 zip code here in East El Paso. Come visit 35 Tavern and Grill. Say hi to Anthony. Delicious food and drinks. You'll find it here. And, of course, we're going to have a link for their website on our website. Head on over to ktsm.com and click on the Studio 9 tab. Thanks so much, Anthony.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us, and thanks for coming by.
That's it for the show this week. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Patricia Maessa, and my crew and I will be back next week with more Studio 9. Keep sending us your story ideas so we can showcase them here. Have a great weekend and stay El Paso strong.